Okay, so I honor those of y'all who are coming in benevolent energy, watching wherever you are watching it at, whether this is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever I happen to put it. Oh, excuse me. At Blooming Light, at Blooming Tribe. Okay, so the title of this video is It Is Always Where You Lay Your Head At. Now, pardon me, I am aware that chances are you're hearing background music, a lot of, chatter, and that's because my son and myself are sitting in a gym. Okay, and I decided to do this video pre-recorded and to see if I can get this uploaded as soon as possible. So this is going to be an update on what my situation is, but as well as many of you that I read for. Okay, as a targeted individual, my son and myself, we have been targeted by these corrupt groups, enterprises, individuals. They're not all associated with one another, but a lot of them are. Now, this particular video is going to be pertaining to what's happening at the residence of my son. Okay, so I suspected many months ago that at least one of the employees, at least one of the maintenance people where he works, have been kind of operating a little oddly, like catching them lingering around, seeming to appear whenever I appear or leave when I leave. Like, just there's been several incidences of that I blinked at because, well, we can be wrong, human error, right? The thing about when these individuals work at the locations where the targets are, this is a part of what makes it harder to detect. This is why it's considered a RICO case or criminal enterprises, because again, it's hiding in plain sight, and it's going to be in a way where it's like, oh, I live there. Oh, I work there. Oh, I'm a government official. Oh, I'm a cop. Oh, I'm, the person's relative. Okay. Needless to say, if the relative has been estranged for 10 years, okay. But all of these things is some of what they do and use to cover up the fact that they are indeed abusing, misusing their positions to access the premises illegally, because this is illegal. This is a federal offense, okay? And to do all sorts of stuff, whether that is to be nosy, to report to people, to take stuff, to put stuff, okay, to fit into a gang, a group, a cult, to get money, whatever, okay, for schmexable favors, like whatever people are on, okay. So again, this individual was called several times, okay. Once when I was leaving very early to try to beat all of the harassment to go to the grocery store, okay. Now I'm going to fast forward to the most recent event, okay. There's been 2 incidences where I've caught this man lingering by my son's patio, and I addressed it when I went to the office. He acted like he was getting trash. I went over there. There was still trash in the area. So I'm like, okay. Then yesterday, when me and my son returned, because remember, they're all linked together, and where my son's unit is it's easy to do, where they can like communicate with one another if anybody is coming towards the unit or the hallway, if I'm there or not, so that the person can move. So I noticed him and his co-worker as me and my son was walking through the grass coming back towards his unit, and then as we made our way around, he was in the cart over there where we were. And I'm like, okay, then actually it was just myself, my son was inside, and I'm like, okay. So I kind of moved and then stood in an area to see like what was going to come of it. So he drove out on the outskirts and didn't go around, like he just drove like on the outskirts towards Old Dowling Road. And I'm like, okay. And then I stood there for a while. There were people on their balconies. I made note of that. And then I went towards my son's unit. As I knocked on the door, my son came. I heard something like a noise or something. And I was like, what is that? I said, did you just do something? Was that on the balcony, on the patio? And he was like, that was on the patio. That was somebody else. And I was like, what? And I went in real fast. So I moved quick and went outside. And that's where I saw him trying to drive really fast in a little car, go-kart, away from the grass by my son's patio. So why am I sharing this? Okay, so I have reason to believe that this individual has been given permission, because we've got to keep this in mind. The maintenance crew, the staff is going to have access to your people's unit. Are they not? Even though he is on a digital key, they're still going to have access. So I wanted this digital key so that this could be found out. Okay? So, again, I've already mentioned a lot of strange behavior. One time he was in the unit across from my son, seeming to come out. When I come out, I didn't see any maintenance supplies. Could he have been doing maintenance shit? It's a possibility. But that is the point of everything that happens in these cases. It's all plausible because of the fact that these individuals either live or work there. That's the point. Okay? So then there was an event where I had requested a key to my son's patio because there's a lock and key. Put in a request. They said they'll send him. He didn't come for a few days. And then one day I saw, it looks like the door was unlocked when I locked it. And then when he finally came during the day, he said, oh, that was me, my bad. I was coming in there to, do the lock. I thought it was for the front door. I thought I was supposed to be doing the front door. Okay, right. Okay. And he came in, act like he was doing something, went on the patio, act like he was, fiddling with the door, said he needed something, never came back, never fixed it still to this day. Okay? So there are all these reasons here. Not to mention, as I've already shared, stuff that seemed to happen in my son's unit that I know he didn't do or I didn't do. And we don't have friends, we don't have company to come there, so there's no other option for these things. So either they themselves are doing it, or they've agreed to open the door to let the people upstairs do it, or my relative that's following me and stalking me do it, or anybody. Okay, these are also people that are part of gangs, secret societies, and some of them, they participate in doing like ritual work. The people upstairs above my son, definitely. I believe that they meet up there, because of the proximity to my son's unit. And I have strong evidence of that and a very, very strong reason to believe that to be true. Okay, now the reason why this is a serious thing, again, is because if they're doing that, what kind of weird, creepy shit could they be doing if somebody has access to your unit? They could be putting shit in your food. They can be doing all kinds of things to hurt you. Okay, so this is why this cannot be taken lightly. But here's the point of the video, not just for myself. It's always going to be where you lay your head. And the reason why it's going to always be where you're laying your head, that you're being betrayed, or where somebody that you're thinking of, is because that's where they're going to be vulnerable. They have to sleep at some time. Their personal belongings is there. You understand? And if it's friends and family, the person's going to be trusting them. Okay? They're going to get the person at their most vulnerable. Understand that. So this is why they employ and seek to bribe, blackmail, and bully people in these apartment complexes. It's not rare for them to be going to these residents, these managers, landlords, staff members, okay? Whether this is cult covens or even black ops, deep state, corrupt officials, you name it. And when it comes to obsessed, estranged family members that are part of these things, Again, it's their entitlement to have access to you, their obsession, okay? You and your stuff, you and your space, to do God knows what, okay? And these are people who pose as good, clean, and wholesome, upstanding citizens of society to the world. And this is what makes this sick, okay? It's gonna always be what's closest to you. It's gonna always be where you lay your head, because that is where you're gonna have the most impact. We can't be on guard 24/7. Even the strongest, the toughest, the baddest, the most intuitive of us, no one is gonna be on point 24/7. You're gonna have to go to sleep sometime. You're gonna have to take your wig off, for lack of better words, at some time. You're gonna have to relax. And that is why they target those situations, those places. And this is also why they've been following me. People want an answer of why would they follow you like that? What's so great and important about you? Why would people go to those great lengths? Well, in this video, I just gave you the cold, hard facts and truth as to why they do that. And the reason why people that may not know us or the target be so willing is because, well, you know, humans. Someone commented one day and said, money is a motivator. Most humans are easily bought and sold, okay? And that's as simple as that. But they usually target people who they know would have a problem with the target in the first place to really ensure their willingness to participate. So it's going to be people that are in secret competition with them. It's going to be people who don't like who they are, what they do, what they believe. It's going to be that type of vibe. Estranged lovers, estranged relatives, friends. They're going to always go for that. Okay, radical groups, you name it. So it's always where you lay your head, where the most betrayal, the most criminal activity is happening. So to the uncorrupt, to the just and honorable judicial system out there, FBI, those of you who are, you know, not corrupt, this is to you. If you're on my case and investigating, I just helped you crack it. If you want to know, if you want to get to the head, it's in front of your face. It's right in front of you. It's where my son lived. And it's always been where he lived. So that means you would have to trace every place he's lived in Texas and beyond. California, Nevada, starting with our relatives, and everywhere else. And it's the corruption that they managed to connect to that is involved, and other cults and covens of which you all know full well about it. If you want the answers, that's where it's at. You go to our exes, you go to our relatives, you go to these managers, these landlords, these residents, these owners of properties, Beaumont Housing Authority, these businesses. It's in front of you, in plain sight. These corrupt cops, in plain sight. And they're described, they have plaques, they have degrees, and honorable mentions, but they are a part of this distortion. They're here now. I recognize every last one of them. They're sloppy. I know their cars. I remember faces. It's plain as day. This is not to be played with. We're going to get justice one way or the other. I've put curses on anybody who enters my son's premises when I'm not there. So this is going to be interesting on what starts to happen to these people, because it is going down.